As the weather gets colder, let the podcast get warmer. Fall in with the Backbone Wrestling feed. Every Monday we have the cross up. Every Tuesday we have Ruthlessly Aggressive and New General Admission. Every other Thursday, linking up Lucha and Highway to the Impact Zone. Every other Friday, Russo Pod. We have Territorial that drops whenever. Hidden Gem that drops whenever. And we have 2 new podcasts. The Movie Education of Logan Crossland, which is a great one. He'll probably watch movies. And Hands of Z. And how could I forget the Shit Take?
So you gotta show a little backbone.
Las Vegas has never had a show like this. What happens here becomes legendary.
I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Shit.
You didn't say that. Tell me you did not just say that.
There's nothing anyone can do, there's nothing anyone can say. There's little can be done right now to make this go away. Cliched simple platitudes do not to quell the dread, and the breadth and gravity just send me crawling back to bed. It's useless in this moment to say we'll get through this somehow. There's time enough for action, but that time isn't now. Soon we can start planning for what may come to be. But what I could really use right now is a bacon roll and a cup of tea. I don't need positive affirmations, I need to scream and bawl. The unrealistic expectations won't help with this at all. This is shit. Well, this is shit. I'm not expecting answers because they're out of your remit. I'm not looking for solutions, just for someone to admit that this is shit. This is
Backbone
shit.
Wrestling
This
Network.
is shit.
Welcome to a new episode of the Shit Take, a special WrestleMania themed Shit Take. I am your host, Shawn. Well, I should say co-host. I am joined as always with my other host, Keith Langston. Keith, how are you?
I'm great, Shawn. How are you? We are here on the Jack Moon. Backbone.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a pregame conversation. Shawn had a little bit of a rough night before this recording. Maybe embellished a few too many old fashions sitting by the first pit fire of the season. But
My goodness.
yeah. But I'll do my best. And of course, he made fun of me and told me I was old and you can't be doing that anymore. Quit being a big baby.
You can't. I mean, you got to be careful. You got to work. You just got to take it easy a little bit. Just take it easy. All right.
All right.
Shawn fucking kid, you know?
Well, when you turn 50, you got to realize you ain't 20 anymore. And that's how
true.
it is. Unfortunately, that's how it is. So
yeah,
I'll wear it like a badge of honor. And
that's how math works, you know?
That's exactly. But anyway, Keith, how are you?
Never better. I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do this shit take because, as you said, we kind of pre-gamed a little bit. We had, I like to say, our pre-production interview meeting, and you and I have for the most part, I think we agree on the overall take, but we have a little bit of variance on this, so that'll be good.
All right, cool. So this was a spur of the moment decision that we were going to pivot on our initial shit take and do this one. So WrestleMania season is here. I will get to see it as of this recording. We're 3 weeks out, I think.
Yes.
But where Keith and I will actually get to see each other. So that's always fun. So it'll be good to see my pal Keithy in Vegas. So what I wanted to talk about today for me in this shit take is I feel like this WrestleMania, and then Keith, you're going to pivot a little bit on yours, and I'll let you go first, actually, if you want. I think both of us have this opinion of this WrestleMania, something's missing. Like I don't know if it's the build. For me, it's the build. I think for you, it might be something different. So I'll let you talk first. My shit take is I think the build for this WrestleMania, when you look at the overall picture of WrestleMania, is probably one of the weakest builds we've seen in a long, long time. But I will let you say yours first and then talk about yours before I talk about mine. So go ahead, Keith. What do you got?
So all right. So this is where I was saying that I agree with you in spirit, because I also agree that the build to this WrestleMania has been fairly weak. However, and this is where I kind of pivot and have a little bit of a different take on it. It's not that I think it's been weak. I think that they've done an excellent job building the 3 or 4 marquee matches for the show.
So what 3 or 4 would you say had they been?
I think the Gunther versus Jey Uso build.
Oh.
See, but that's where but this is where I kind of have an issue as well with the internet wrestling community, because I think that
Did you just call me internet wrestling community? Is that what you just said?
I said this is because you agree with, I think, the internet wrestling community. So I've never seen anybody turn so fast on a guy who's supposed to be cemented as a next champion as they've turned on Jey Uso.
I don't turn on Jey Uso. Let me say one thing.
Okay.
His entrance is amazing. His character is amazing.
Yes.
Like I'll be one of the ones at WrestleMania when he comes out. I'll even be one of the ones doing the whole,
nice.
I'll doing that.
I got my Yeet shirt.
Right. Oh, do you?
I got a Yeet shirt for night 1.
All right. So I'm all down with that. The problem is when it comes to the ring, Uso as a singles is really bad. He's not good in ring. And I think, to me, in opinion, he still looks like too junior to be in a main event with Gunther. But anyway, go ahead. That was my
first of all, he's not in the main event. That's already been fucking established.
Well, that's part of the problem for me too. But that's mine. Go ahead.
I think that one of the problems that I have is, and this is where I think the internet is kind of echoing this, is that everybody was wicked hyped for him to win the Rumble. I think people were hyped when he initially won the Rumble because, yes, he has the crowd eating out of his hand. He does struggle with his promo work, which makes sense because he really didn't have to fucking talk for a long time. Not only because he was in the tag team, but also because all the energy was sucked out of the fucking room with Roman Reigns. So it's like, how are you going to get anywhere with that? I mean, you could just tell, though, that between him and his brother, he's definitely the one that actually knows how to talk. I think I've heard like rumors that the sloppiness of his ring work has been kind of a thing that they're pushing. Like it's almost like a gimmick, which I went, okay, I can get behind that if that's what they're going towards, like this total underdog type thing. Because on paper, Gunther should wipe the floor with him. So if you're going to try to promote this matchup, it's got to be somewhat believable. So that's why you have him kind of looking like he's the true underdog here. I don't always love when they just make the number one guy lose or the number one girl lose. I hate when they have champions lose matches, non-titled. If I hate that, I hate.
We talked about that before, where the secondary champions ones, where they all lose. Yeah.
Yes. And then as far as but I think they're doing a good job building that to make it seem important. Okay, which is good. Obviously, they've done an incredible job building the Cody Rhodes John Cena match. I think it's even getting better with these Cena coming out doing these kind of like fuck you promos, especially since it's been in Europe, because that's fucking awesome because the crowd is so hot over there that like when Cena comes out, it's just like it's like brand new John Cena, like when he first turned face. Like that's the kind of reactions that we're getting. So I like it. And then Cody comes out and Cody is doing what he would normally do, which is just, I mean, it kind of stinks because Cody's the white meat baby face right now. And that's kind of a tough gimmick to have where you really don't have much more than just like, hey, everybody, I'm a great guy. So it's just tough. But I think they're doing a good job with that. And we haven't seen The Rock, thankfully, which is fucking good. Keep him as far away from the show as possible, in my opinion. I'm actually much happier with John Cena being the fucking mouthpiece than The Rock. That's for sure.
Interesting.
And then I think the triple threat match has been built, with Rollins, Reigns, and Punk. And then the Io Sky, Rhea, and Bianca match has been built fairly well. But I see you kind of like hemming and hawing on the camera.
I'm holding my tongue to let you get your point out so I don't jump in.
And the thing I'm saying is that they're being built. I mean, whether or not you love the builds or not, they're being built. I was trying to go back to remember last year. I'm pretty sure the only thing that I even remember being built was the fucking main event. That's it. That was it. I don't remember anything else. And I know that Drew McIntyre had like a whole thing going on with Seth Rollins, and I know that there was some nonsense with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton being like the super best friends going up against Seth, Logan Paul. Basically, the only thing I remember from that year, and this was last year, was the main event, and that's it. And other than that,
I thought you were gonna say it was eating bad food and getting
well, that's that too. Yes, that I remember very well.
Okay,
but
right.
and I think that the problem that I have, and this kind of goes into, this was a discussion, I think you and I've had this kind of before, but I was really going on this tangent with Pete, or my good friend Pete, my BFF Petey Winston, was I think if they're going to be moving forward with some of these 2-night shows, because now SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights and everything, I think they need to nix the premium live event the month before they're doing the 2-night show, because there is no build between. You cannot build anything more than like one match before you have the Elimination Chamber and then you go into Mania. And I even was having this conversation with my brother this morning. It's like, you have the Rumble. The Rumble is the Rumble. That's fine. And I can understand the concept of the Elimination Chamber where you're trying to pick the other person that's going to be challenging for the other championship.
Right.
So you know what I think they need to do in lieu of that is they need to just have maybe a Saturday night's main event where the only 2 matches on the card are the 2 Elimination Chamber matches, and that's it. And then what you can start doing on SmackDown and Raw is building all the other matches for the entirety of the 6 to 7 weeks in between the Rumble and WrestleMania.
Or do them on Raw. It's on Netflix now, right? So
right. But they can build.
They can build it.
But you still got to build on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then and just like that, and they should try that maybe. I know they won't, but they should try that this year with SummerSlam being in August. They should try to not have a show in July and just build from June to August and have 6 to 7 weeks to build a good show with good built matches, because the undercard is going to stink.
The rumor for July is they're doing the second Evolution, the female pay-per-view in July.
So that's not bad, because
that's a good idea, right?
That's a good idea because what you're not going to be doing is you're not going to be pivoting immediately from like, because that's what we kind of got into towards the end of the Attitude Era, and then even into the Ruthless Aggression Era, and even all of WCW, where WCW was notorious for like ending the fucking pay-per-view with, well, make sure you watch us tomorrow night on Nitro. And it was like, when you stopped building towards the following pay-per-view and started building towards the following Monday night show, it started to get just really piss poor pay-per-views. And I was looking at because this conversation started this morning with my brother about how Mania tickets are still outrageous. And like, he was saying that for like a family of 4 to go to Mania this year, it's like $10,000. And I was like, yeah, it's stupid. And I said, and they haven't sold out either night. It's mostly sold out. I said it's like 5,000 each, which is still like.
And I'm sure it's due to the pricing. It's a pricing. It's not.
But
the
like,
bill, but
I'm thinking about like SummerSlam at MetLife. What are those tickets going to be? Same-ish to what friggin' Mania is. And I go, you cannot expect them to continue. Like, I would be bullshit if I was paying $1,000 a night. So I'm paying $2,000 for my tickets, and I'm going to the show. And the show was like 7 or 8 matches, and they're half built.
Right.
I'm like, what are we doing here? And we know that each match is going to be 15, 20 minutes long, and it's going to be a slog fest. And I said, I would rather watch a 2.5-minute Rey Mysterio getting squashed by a Dominic Mysterio, or having it like be a screwy finish, than having a 15, 20-minute slog fest where we have to see Gimpy Mysterio fucking trying to avoid getting injured for yet the 100th time, and then have him somehow sneak out a victory against this. Like, it's just no.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Greg Valentine versus the Earthquake was perfectly fine in WrestleMania 7.
All right. So overall, what's your take on this? So let me ask you this question first.
Yeah.
The excitement level for you to go to WrestleMania, just the event, not the location.
Oof.
Were you more excited for this one? Or were you more excited for Philly?
I was more excited for Philly because Philly was my first.
Okay.
You always remember your.
What about the sheer show? What you have coming? What's going to be in the show? Like, I mean, you said yourself you weren't a big fan of. I mean, I know you weren't a fan of Philly because I was there with you, so I very vividly remember you not being a happy man because a lot of it was because of The Rock. But anyway,
well, I'll be honest with you. Lately, I've been really concerned that I'm gonna have to stand the entirety of both shows because we're like on the floor, and I don't want to have to stand.
You're on the floor.
Yeah, aren't you with me? I think you're with me,
I'm,
aren't you?
I'm not. No, I'm not with your group.
Who are you with?
I am with Schiff, my brother, and Steve Riddle.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So we're gonna be like
And
on the floor.
spoiler alert, we'll be in a suite.
You're a dick.
I'm not a dick.
Did you really get a suite and like didn't tell anybody?
No. The suite we recently got last week because I got, but it was only there was only 4 tickets I could get. That was the problem. So,
is that really it? Like, can I come and hang out? Can I come and hang out in the suite with you? At one point,
we'll figure it out, but it's like a shared suite kind of thing. So we got the suite for 2 nights, and then obviously we got the suite for NXT. So. And the reason why, I mean, you're going to be in the NXT suite, right? You're with us there. Yeah. So the whole point of getting the suite is my brother coming from Europe. I wanted him to have, it was kind of like an experience thing.
A wonderful human being.
Well, I was a little bummed because I was trying to think through it. I won't tell you how much the suites cost us. It was even half price, and I still got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, I mean, if I know what the tickets are costing me, and those are not a suite, so I can imagine
a family of 4 at 10,000 sounds about right. I didn't have to pay 10,000, but
no.
But
it's just
it was just for my brother. So
that's why I kind of was like, you know what, this is what I do now. I'm not going to really cry about, I'm not going to cry about the prices of everything. However, I really am not thrilled about if this is going to be kind of the standard for what we're going to be paying for tickets to these shows, because it's ridiculous that that's what they're. I mean, and it's funny because somebody posted on Facebook like WrestleMania 19, and it was like $15 for like the bleacher seats at Safeco, and it's like, it used to be that like wrestling was like the best ticket in it, and now this is coming from a Boston Red Sox fan, where the Red Sox have the highest ticket prices in all of Major League Baseball.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so having been accustomed to having to pay out the ass to sit in the fucking worst seats in the oldest stadium in baseball, I'm well accustomed to having to be plowed in the ass, and for years, the WWE has been the best dollar in entertainment, and now they're starting to make that not true, and that pisses me off, because I tell everybody that has like young kids, I tell all the parents, I go, take them to see WWE. It's the best entertainment for your dollar. It really is. Like, the kids are going to get excited. It's entertainment galore. It's not just cheesy wrestling like it used to be. I go, it's fun. It's exciting. The crowd gets into it. I think about like the Jey Uso, the Yeaton thing, and everything like that.
See,
like,
that stuff I'm excited for. Like, I can't wait to see that whole damn place just
of course.
go crazy.
I think it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great.
I do find it a little insulting that he wins the fucking Rumble. He's the main event Jey Uso. They make this whole big deal about him being WrestleMania main event Jey Uso, and he's probably going to open the show with fucking Gunther, and that pisses me off.
All right, so your take is what on this WrestleMania overall? What's your take? Overall?
I think that the build has been okay, but I think it's getting sullied by not only everyone immediately turning on fucking Jey Uso and everybody else. Like the crowds are just, the internet crowd is just turning on this whole fucking fiasco for multiple reasons. And I think they need to shave off they need to start eliminating some of these mid pay-per-views, these B show and B pay-per-views and C pay-per-views.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. All right, so here's my take.
Good.
Oh, good.
Here we buckle up, folks.
No. Listen, I like Jey Uso. I think I said it. I like Jey Uso. What they've done with his entrance, the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
That no one in a million years would have thought anyone in that bloodline outside of Roman Reigns would get that kind of reaction, right?
Mm-hmm,
I mean, I think it's great. In fact, if you really like peel back the onion a little bit, Russo's probably more over than Roman Reigns is right now. Let's be clear. Maybe because Raven's such like part-time, whatever. Mm-hmm. And now all he does is kind of sit back in his chair, come out, stare with his freaking whatever he did with his dentures, his teeth, because they're all like pearly whites now. It almost looks like fake. I think they're fake. I think
they are. They're absolutely. What do you call them?
Every time he grins, it looks like his teeth are just swallowing his face. It's like this ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
But Jey is not good in the ring. He's not. Like I don't know if it's a gimmick or not. He doesn't come across as a main eventer when the bell rings. That's my problem. And it goes back to what I said on our last episode. I think it was our last episode. Gunther as world champion is booked like shit. Yeah. So, and then it's the same thing every week. One of them attacks the other one. They run in. Then they brought in Austin Theory, and like they put in all this like, what's the meat of the cause of this match? What's the heat? What's the like? What is the like? What are they trying to accomplish here? Like, there's no heat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the
run-ins are not builds for a Mania.
No,
match.
I mean because here's the problem is that they did the build the first fucking night after the Rumble, and actually Gunther kind of built it before because it started with him wanting to wrestle.
Well, you had the Saturday night's main event, and again, that's my other problem is I don't want to see another rematch because I've already seen this match. And you said that, hey, we have to have less pay-per-views. I feel like the build for this one has been hurt because they don't have anything of any substantial substance to bridge this match together except running in every week. It's like, God, can we just get to the fucking match already? That's how I feel about the main event with that. That match itself. That's how I feel.
And that I feel honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, and I please forgive me, Triple H, the man who I pray to because he's saved wrestling. But I feel like Triple H.
Oh, that's a shit take. But no,
I feel like Triple H has panicked, and maybe Nick Khan has panicked, and maybe Stephanie has panicked, and like people are panicking because, and I don't know why they're panicking because I still feel like wrestling is as hot as it's ever been.
It is. That's the thing. It is.
But I think that they're looking like Ari Emanuel is looking at the numbers for Mania and going, this isn't selling out. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Because it's too much fucking money they're charging.
Well, but as hey, you're a businessman. You know that's never the thing that they look at. They always
they do. But no, part of that though is I'm not going to get into everything in my end.
Yeah,
part of that, if you're known as a value concept,
if
you start outpricing that concept, people will quit going. That's what's happening with WWE right now.
Exactly.
But you even said it for $15 tickets, $5 tickets.
Right. But that's what I'm
value anymore.
So what I think is happening is that because of that, people are saying, I'd rather stay home and pay the $20 to watch on Peacock or whatever it is. Instead, you have Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan are probably like, whoa, we need to do something. And I think Triple H is resorting back to Vince style of booking.
Ooh,
and
we'll have to watch that. Yeah,
I think it kind of slowly is. Like you just start to see like the extended build on because I always said one of the biggest problems that the Attitude Era had was that the main event, and we've talked about this before, the main event storyline was booked awesome, but after that they didn't really pay attention to anything on the undercard, and it was like you had to have guys making chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was like it was really tough. They're not booking top to bottom, and I'm going to start like sounding like Jim Cornette and everything, but it's true. Like Jim Cornette is right, Paul Heyman's right. You can book a show top to bottom and have everything have its own dedicated build, and you have a good show overall. Some of the best shows in wrestling history are shows that have a great undercard because the undercard, they paid attention to it. And they didn't just say...
WrestleMania 5 might be one of my favorites, low-key.
And it's, you know what? And the funny thing is...
5, yeah.
And the funny thing is that, and believe me, I have gone through that with Petey Winston and GFA. They didn't build everything, but they didn't. But it was a good, like, solid out of the 14 matches on the card. They built like 8 of them, and like 8 of them had build.
Right, you had Martel returning with Strike Force. Then you had them falling apart. Obviously Hogan Savage was built great, right?
Yeah.
The Intercontinental title match was built really good. Like so. Okay, so let me get back to this one.
Yeah.
You're going to probably yell at me for this one. I disagree with you on how Cena and Cody has been built. And now here's why.
Okay.
They had this. I don't disagree with you on the European crowds. The European crowds are amazing. Like this SmackDown this past Friday, as of this recording, we watched where they signed for the triple threat. Yeah. And the way they were singing Roman, and they go to Punk, and they like the way they were all like rooting for their individuals. The crowd was outstanding in that show.
Yeah.
But anyway, so for me, it's like, okay, we had this big moment in Elimination Chamber where you had this big, huge heel turn with Cena, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Cena's coming out, and again, the first time he came out on Netflix, and he's like, "You people have been like," I get the whole gist of what he said because it was funny, it was true, like it's very true. But did you have to watch Rinse and Pete do that again the next week after? Like it was literally like week 1 and 2 were the same exact fucking thing.
Yeah.
Explain to me. I still fundamentally don't know why he's joined up with The Rock. I know why he's mad at the fans, right? But ultimately, like, what was the whole purpose? Like, what was I there's still no meat to the substance to it. It's just like, I turned on the fans because you people shit on me for 25 years. Well, that's true. but there's got to be a bigger reason why you're doing this.
I
I want number 17. I'm going to do it because I'm the greatest. Like, there's more meat to the promo he needs to have versus come out and watch, rinse, repeat. And then Cody comes out and he's super vanilla. Cody's interviews for me suck. I've been saying this forever. There's no substance to Cody interviews. Like, he had some meat with KO. That was a good feud. And then they fucked it up. It's all over now.
Yeah.
But I just feel like this whole, like, the follow-up from Elimination Chamber has sucked. And I still think Cena in his hat and jorts and everything, that something's got to change, because that takes me out as a heel. It just takes me out.
You know what, though? I will say, for me, him coming out and being like, because everybody assumed he was going to come out and have like new gear.
I was one of the internet stupidities that thought.
Yeah, and there was the photo leaked of him with like the slicked back black hair and like
got rid of the blind spot.
and when he came out and he was like, "You get nothing, you
that
lose."
Was good. That was
day,
good.
sir. I was like, that's exactly what he should do. He's not changing himself because he knows that that's what the crowd wants, and that's exactly what he's finally. That's fair. That's fair. But that's fair. His meat, and that's the meat of his story, and that's fine. He started up with the Ric Flair thing, talking about taking the belt and retiring, and kind of putting it that
like,
if you
going to be
Google
CM Punk, like 2011 Punk, he's just going to take his ball and run before.
And hey man, and everybody fucking raves about that era of Punk. Do they not?
Oh no, that match was amazing. Love that match.
So. I think that it is odd because, like, leading up to the Elimination Chamber, we had to suffer through fucking Dwayne coming out and having his fucking long, drawn out, fucking overblown testosterone, steroid fueled fucking rants. And then his agent must have said, "Bro, get out of there, because no one wants to hire you now for movies because you're back to being a fucking, circus clown." And so now he's not. So now he has his mouthpiece as Cena, but it doesn't make any sense, because you're right. He left us holding our dicks in our hands after the Elimination Chamber with like, okay, so why? Like, what the fuck is going? Like,
for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now they go to Europe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when they come back. So they're in Chicago, I think, this Monday. I don't know if Cena's. I don't know.
So
if
that
Cena's
means
on the card
because it's Chicago. So
Chicago is SmackDown.
All right. Either one. I'm like, if it's a Chicago, there's going to be nothing built towards Cody, because it's going to be a fucking CM Punk jerk off fest.
It's one of the shows that are in Chicago this week. Anyway, so and then the other, and here's my other thing for me. Remember how I said Uso's not good in the ring? John Cena has not been good in ring in a long time, and my fear is the match could suck a big ball of ass.
Well,
that's my concern.
Well, here's something that I saw as a rumor mill on the internet, or on like Facebook or Reddit or wherever it was. And I'm like, oh, this could fucking happen. Apparently, the main event of the first night triple threat.
I read that the person will get the person inserted into that match.
And that's going to be CM Punk's favor.
And then, I heard the same thing.
Which I went, okay. Which again, I don't know why. I don't know what power Paul Heyman, I almost called him Paulie dangerously. I don't know what power Paul Heyman has to insert the CM Punk into that match, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, but that I could see happening. I could see that happening where like we get Cody, we get Cena comes out, we get Cody come out, and then maybe like either The Rock comes out and says, and if The Rock's music hits, 1,000%, I'm gonna be like, he's coming out next. The only thing that would surprise me,
you're not gonna run to your car if he comes out.
I might. Hey, you want to know what's funny? I might go to hit. I was talking to Jenny about this. We might go fucking get some ice cream, or maybe go find a fucking slot machine at the stadium when the main event happens, night one, because the only one I have any interest in seeing
like
in
that main
match,
event. I think that main event's going to be
the only one
good.
I have any interest in seeing in that match is Seth Rollins, and everybody else doesn't like Seth Rollins. So it's like,
I love Seth Rollins.
So do I.
Logan does too.
I'm excited like Seth Rollins.
But here's the problem. Seth, he's not going to win.
And
right?
once again, I just want to defend myself again and clarify. I knew everybody in Philadelphia knew the outcome of that fucking match night one, the night it happened. And I don't know, you weren't sitting with me, but I left after the fourth stall segment of the match. The match had already been 20 minutes long. It was
45 fucking minute match. I mean,
yes,
the match was not good.
I left 20 minutes into it because it was the fourth stall segment where like Roman Reigns got in the ring real slow like, and then stood up and looked at Cody, and then got back out of the ring, and then got up and then got back into the, and I went, all right, I'm going to go fucking, and you know what? I got back to my car. I waited patiently for everybody to come and get ready to leave. I got the exclusive WrestleMania 40 Prime bottle water that nobody else got because they didn't have enough for everybody. I got like a little handful of like mini Snickers that they were giving out to everyone. So I didn't have to fight with people elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, like I did the second night and every other show we go to. So it was nice. I was able, and I might do that again this year because you're right. I probably know the outcome of this match too, which is probably going to be Punk, and he's probably going to show up at the main event.
And which is okay. So anyway, and again, I don't want to get back on track here. So I don't feel like I'm going to get two good matches per se in the two world title matches. I don't think I'm going to get a good match on either one of them.
No, I'm not that interested in the women's match, the Tiffany Stratton match. Well, except to look at Tiffany Stratton.
Gunther versus Jay, I've already seen. So if Jay I don't see them putting the belt on Jay because Jay can't go in the ring. I don't see them putting it on Jay. So then you're going to have him lose a third time to Gunther, and then he's not even in the main event, right? Which is worse. Then I feel like Cody versus Cena is going to be a spectacle. It's going to be an event. It'll probably have every schmoz thing they could do to make the match something because Cena can't go in the ring anymore.
Which they did the year before.
Correct. And then I'm right. This Tiffany Charlotte thing, Keith, it's terrible. Like Charlotte on the mic's been terrible. Tiffany it's almost like it's hard for me to get into that match thinking that this is going to be a banger of a match.
I know I have to tread carefully talking about Charlotte because Jenny will castrate me. But
I don't shred. She hasn't been good in ring. I said it on our last episode. She has not been ring long.
I think Charlotte, I think they made a huge mistake having her win the Rumble. I think what I suggested Charlotte do would have been the best thing for her, which is I think she should have come back, picked the person to be a tag partner,
team. Right?
And then ran that fucking division. And I think that would have been great.
Retire. That would have been fine too.
Yeah, but she's not going to retire, and she doesn't need to retire. But she has to move into the era where she's now helping put over younger talent.
True.
You know?
True. Now, and I'm going to disagree with you on another one. And again, I'm not trying to be the internet guy, so I feel
That's fine, whatever. You're the internet guy.
I don't like it's funny for me, like the whole build to the triple threat with Io, Rhea.
Yeah.
Because you had Bianca come out of this amazing like pivot where the Naomi as a heel is really good, by the way.
Yeah.
And Jade, and now she's like, all of a sudden, I forgot all about that. I'm going to move on and go do this. Right. And she had that initial promo where she was crying in the ring and her and Naomi were going at it. And now she's in this triple threat match. And Rhea, what was the point of Rhea losing the title? I don't get it. Like, why did we have to insert Io Sky in it? Should have just been Rhea versus Bianca. And I feel like the problem is, and I like how Io's jumping in there when those two go at it and like starts beating the shit out of them because they're ignoring her.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's the champion. She's secondary. Who knows? I mean, as of this recording tomorrow night, Raw, Rhea versus Io, you might have Rhea win the title back. Who knows? I just don't get the booking.
This is where I go back to, and this is where I kind of say, I think Triple H is freaking out and resorting back to Vince booking because remember that Mania where the Miz was the champion and he wasn't even fucking talked about?
Oh.
And it wasn't like The Rock was wrestling. The Rock was a host.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
That was the build to that main event. And it's considered one of the worst WrestleManias of all time.
Right.
So you're kind of looking at that again. You're looking
even the Intercontinental title match. They're going to end up making that like a 4-way with like, it's going to be Finn. It's going to be Dom.
I figured
it's going to be Steiner.
Yeah, I figure that's going to be, I figure they'll throw Sheamus and that they'll probably do like,
and that match will probably be great.
And it'll probably be like a ladder match or something.
Right.
And that'll be the best match of the card. And
Braun will lose it because he needs to move on and go after the world title, in my opinion.
Well, see, so this is where I felt. Now, see, this is where I think Jey Uso will win. Because I think what I think is going to happen.
Because Braun beat him for that title.
And what I think is going to happen is I think people are already starting to tweener cheer Gunther. Like people love
they are. Yeah, they are.
And I think that you can't have Gunther in this, like, because it's not, and this sounds crazy, it doesn't seem natural for him to be in this kind of like, I'm a better than you kind of heel. Like, he's an ass kicker. He's a shit kicker who just wants to kick some shit. And I think that it's very similar to, and I dare I say it's very similar to when Austin was like first the champion, because it was just, he was like, everybody was cheering him because he was a shit kicker. And that's, I think, what you have with Gunther. And it wouldn't surprise me if either A, Cena beats Cody with the help of all the shenanigans afoot, or now Punk beats Cody and Cena, if you insert that.
Which, by the way, makes Cena's heel turn worthless at that point, right? I almost feel like Cena has to win. He has to.
So if Cena wins, he keeps the title, and he drops it to Gunther at SummerSlam. And that's where you get Gunther is now the heavyweight champion of the world. And then you know what? You can fucking reheat him and Cody and have Cody say, I beat you at the Saudi Arabian spectacular, blah, blah, blah. I'm the only one that's been able to beat you, that kind of thing. And it heats up that. And then maybe you turn Cody heel. Maybe you turn Cody heel-ish. And you start to give him a little bit more flavor. Because, Cody as a white meat babyface has lost all of his value, because he was great when he was first in against like Rollins, and then he fucking hurt himself and hit. You're not going to get a better push than when Cody wrestled that fucking match with that black and blue on his arm. That was amazing. And then him getting screwed the first year against Reigns was good. He finished his story. That's okay. But he's been very mid to like mild as the champion, because, and it's not that he hasn't had good matches. It's not that he hasn't had good feuds.
No, his matches have been fine. His matches have been fine.
Feud with Kevin Owens was good. The matches with AJ have been good. It's just
match with Gunther was good. That was a good one.
He's stuck in this awful fucking continuing bloodline fiasco nonsense, because Rock's got a fucking Hogan his way into this fucking thing, and it's done. Time is up. We got to move on. So
we both have different angles on the build, how we feel about it. I didn't even get into like other mid-card stuff, like the tag team titles. I think that could be a good match. Street Profits I like a lot. I think they're good. I think what were some of the Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest? That has a potential to be really good. I think it's a downgrade for Drew. I think it's a downgrade for Drew though. But I think that match is going to be good.
But you know what? If they put that on night 2, that could be the match on night 2.
Yeah, I think that match is going to be very good, because I think Damian Priest is low key very good, good. And who doesn't like Drew McIntyre? I just like to see Drew McIntyre win, which he actually did win this past Friday. I think he beat Orton. So yeah,
I think the women's Intercontinental title match might be an amazing matchup depending on what they do. Because I know like the rumor is it's going to be Bayley versus Lyra. I could see,
or they're going to go after the tag team titles.
See, I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do that. I want them to give the first fucking year you have these the two secondary women's titles. You should give them matches on WrestleMania.
Well, they have 2 nights. They should 100%.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like, you don't need to you just let Chelsea Green have a fucking schmoz match against somebody, and have friggin' Lyra have an awesome wrestling match against somebody. Like, put Chelsea Green in a fucking multi-person gimmick match or something for the U.S. women's title. Why not? You can have fucking 2 title matches with multiple people and ladders and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm more excited to see I'm more excited to go to NXT and see Jordan Grace versus my new girlfriend.
I know, and that's great. But that's great, and it's awesome that like it's so sad that like the best matches Chelsea Green's had since she's been the U.S. champion has been when she's on NXT.
She had a good one with Minchin, whatever her name is. The street fight they had was pretty fun. That was pretty good. But
that's what I'm saying. It's like, I just want them to do. You have it's the biggest show of the year. It's a 2-night spectacular event. Every title should be defended. Every match should matter. It should be something good, not just garbage.
I think you need to, and we'll end it with this, Keith. No matter what, I think both of us need to buckle in for 45-minute main events on both nights.
And that's why I might go to my car early.
You're not going to go to your car early.
I don't have a car. I don't have a car.
And honestly, my gut tells me Roman, Seth, and Punk are going to steal the show. And then the next night, Cena is going to shit the bed in the match, and they're going to have all sorts of chicanery happen to make that match watchable. So
maybe.
Anyway,
I'm assuming the position I might add. I'm laying down on my bed.
Yeah, that's the position that Cody might have with Cena on top of him come WrestleMania. Maybe we'll see. Anyway, all right. So Keith, that'll end this episode. Anything you would like to plug?
Nah, everybody knows where they can find me.
Oh, you don't want to plug like your new pods that you're going to be doing? Or are you going to wait?
Yes.
Are you going to actually record those first? And then
when is this? Is this one going to drop like Mania weekend?
No. I have to look. I don't remember where we're dropping this.
Well, you should drop this Mania weekend. It's relevant to Mania.
Well, because maybe.
Yes, I'm going to be releasing for the month of April. I will be releasing 2 new pods on the Backbone Wrestling Network. They are yet to be named, but one of them is based on the Clash of the Champions rewatch and review show, and for WCW. And I'm starting with Clash 1, obviously. And the other podcast I'll be releasing is a new kind of concept where I'm taking JR's cookbook, Can You Feel the Heat, from back in 2000, I think, 2001. And I'm going to be recreating or cooking all of the recipes in there. And that actually, I think we're going to put on YouTube as well, because I'm going to videotape myself making the recipes, cooking the meal, and we'll release the audio on the Backbone Wrestling Network. And we have a YouTube page, so I think I'm going to post the video of me cooking the show on YouTube.
Wow. Okay, cool. So we look forward to that. Now you're actually going to do it though, right? That's,
Yeah, dude, I got it.
We've been waiting this for a while.
Yeah, but I told you I wanted to wait on the cooking show because I don't want to, it's hard to cook like when the weather's shitty out and stuff like that. And so I wanted to wait, plus there's a bunch of recipes that are like barbecue, because no pun intended, it's JR, but there's a lot of like grilling recipes, and I'm not grilling in the fucking winter. So, I live in New England, dude. It sucks. It fucking sucks today. It's like the end of March and it's freezing outside. It snowed last night. So
it's like 75 here today.
I know. And it was like 70 in New York yesterday. So what the hell? But yeah. So, and
I'm looking forward to that one. I've been wanting to hear the Clash one for a while. The Clash one. I like the Clashes, and I think there's some meat there. We need a Clash pod.
Well, the best is that I was ready to do the Clash. And then when I started looking at all the Clashes, I was like, oh my God, once you get past Clash 4, they all suck. And
but when's the last time you physically went back and watched all the Clashes?
Well, you yelled at me.
There.
No, you dad voiced me, and you said, listen, as the CFO, COO, CEO of the Backbone, you said, I want you to do these. And I went, yes, Dad. And then I said, okay.
There you go. There's other people that want to hear that too. No, it's actually Logan. Logan too. Hi. And by the way, Logan's listening in the back area. Hello, Logan.
Oh, what's up, Log Jam?
Yeah, what's up, Log Jam?
My Log Jam.
But I said to Logan, because I was kind of out of the loop for a little bit. I go, Logan, is he ever going to do this Clash pod? And he goes, no, the other night, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's some horse shit. And that's why I jumped on you about
Logan
it.
Went, I don't want to do that. Actually, Logan and I did, and I got to drop this. I know I need to drop it. I'm going to drop it at some point today, I think. But we recorded the movie education of Logan Crosland. We watched Midnight Run.
Oh my God, how outdated is that movie for someone like Logan?
Exactly.
I got that is so not to me, Logan. Like I can't imagine.
We both loved it, but the best part about it was our constant Dennis Farina Chicago accent. It was great. So yeah. So that's gonna drop, and then you can hear me on A La Carte with Keithy on the No-So, and then of course GFA Live with Petey Winston, your favorite wrestling show.
It is one of my favorite wrestling shows. Just a lot of it's the era you guys are covering is just my. So
well, don't worry, we're gonna keep going because I don't think we're ever gonna stop.
No, it's good. I like it that way. As for me, you can. I mean, obviously, listen to everything on the Backbone. We should be getting some new shift plugs to enter here because we're out of winter now, right? Also, what are you doing? What is happening on my screen right now? My God. Anyway, and then I am actually doing like a little side project that is just going to drop whenever I wanted to, called The Vault, where we are watching. Initially I'm going to have Logan and Schiff on it because my schedule is sucked asshole, so I recorded the first one by myself. And so basically, it's kind of like the setup. They have the same pod on PTBM, but it's different. But I've been playing on this one for months. Mm-hmm. But basically, I'm just going to watch matches from The Vault and kind of give my opinion on it. So my first episode that I did is all about your boy Triple H.
Good.
So I picked 3 matches off The Vault of Triple H.
Good.
Because we're going to do a Hall of Fame series. And then the second one I'm going to do is on Lex Luger, Matt Souza's favorite wrestler. So that should be a good one. So, all right. So other than that, that's all I got going on. Plus, this should take in the wonderful hands of Z. So the best pod ever, the Hands of Z, the number one Larry Zbyszko, Ron Garvin pod in the entire world. And then I'll be making an appearance on Chronoso. It'll be my first time on Chronoso, so I'll be on that too, where I do it with Mark, and we get to cover I won't tell you what the match is on live here, but I was not a fan of the match because it had my favorite wrestler in it against somebody who is just phoning it home when he's in the WWF, which we talked about before we recorded. So anyway, all right. So with that, Keith, I will talk to you soon, and we'll see everybody on the next episode of The Shit.
I'm right and you're wrong, that's the name of this here song. This discussion's gone on way too long. I'm right and you're wrong. They say there's two sides to every scrum. My side's right and your side's dumb. That's the general rule of thumb. I'm right and you're wrong. If I'm right and you're wrong, I guess this can't be a sing-along. 'Cause you'd sing I'm right and that'd be wrong, 'cause I'm right and you're wrong. I'm right and you're wrong, that's the name of this here song. Dang, you sure are headstrong. I'm right and you're wrong. We can agree to disagree on things you're just too blind to see. Else you just agree with me, 'cause I'm right and you're wrong. Please don't cloud the issue with facts. Let's just stick to personal attacks till there ain't no turning back. 'Cause I'm right and you're wrong. I'm right and you're wrong, that's the name of this here song. Civil discourse just don't belong. I'm right and you're wrong. What's that you say? Maybe we should listen. Maybe there's things we've both been missing. Heck, we could wind up hugging and kissing if no one's right or wrong. Now all this talking's gone on way too long. There ain't gonna be no brand new dawn, 'cause you're an idiot and I'm King Kong. I'm right and you're wrong. I'm right and you're wrong, that's the name of this here song. It turns out all along I was right and you're wrong. I'm right and you're wrong, that's the name of this here song. This whole thing's gone on way too long. I'm right and you're wrong. Yeah, the world ain't flat, it's just oblong. I'm right and you're wrong. And you're ugly too.